In the sweltering grip of the Judean sun, the air hung heavy, charged with a tension that sang like a bowstring drawn taut. Here stood Pontius Pilate, the Roman prefect, hemmed in by a labyrinth of political intrigue, the invisible threats of public expectation and the imperial duty binding his hands. The cobblestones below seemed to absorb the weight of the destiny, indifferent to the momentous human drama they bore witness to. The crowd before him was a sea of turbulent faces, each wave of voices crashing against the stone platform where Pilate stood, a solitary figure, robed in the trappings of power, yet besieged by doubt. His eyes flickered over the accused, a carpenter from Nazareth, whose silence was as confounding as his reputation. Pilate's wife had whispered warnings of troubled dreams, her words like ghostly fingers upon his conscience. But the clamor of the masses and his stern expectations of Rome pressed upon him heavier still. Before him stood a man named Jesus, his visage calm, an enigma that chipped away at Pilate's resolve. The prefect's voice, when it finally came, was the crack of a whip in the tense air. "What shall I do with this man?" he demanded of the crowd. The response was a tumultuous demand for crucifixion, a refrain that reverberated against the stones of Jerusalem with a chilling ferocity. In the shadow of this human tumult, a basin was presented. A silver reflected the sky amidst the grime of human affairs. Pontius Pilate submerged his hands into the basin. The liquid was cool and momentarily cleansing. He lifted his wet hands to the crowd, droplets falling like liquid silver, a symbol of his attempt to absolve himself of the weight of a decision that would ripple throughout history. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he declared. "See it to yourselves." As the man called Jesus was led away, Pilate remained, his hands clean, yet his soul in turmoil, a symbol of evasion, of a choice made by refusing to choose. In the annals of history, this moment would be etched as a powerful picture of abdication, a lesson on the cost of washing one's hands of responsibility. It is an enduring symbol of abdication, of shifting the weight of a decision onto the shoulders of others. In the business world, this Pontius Pilate syndrome is rife, manifesting in various ways that create a smokescreen for the true accountability and for true achievement. Here are 5 contemporary parallels where leaders and employees wash their hands of responsibility, emulating Pilate's infamous gesture. Number 1, waiting to hear back. "I sent an email to so-and-so, I'm waiting to hear back," is a line many use to feign progress. Well, did you call? Did you text? Have you showed up in person? Have you called every hour on the hour? This waiting to hear is a digital form of Pilate's basin, cleansing oneself of a task by pushing it onto another's inbox. It is an abdication of responsibility to follow through, assuming that once it's someone else's turn to respond, it's no longer yours to worry about. Number 2, the consensus game. Then there's the habitual delay of, well, let's table this discussion until everyone is here, until we have more data, until we hear back from so-and-so, etc. No, let's make a decision now and get their commitment or fill them in later. We can always adjust. Often, the consensus game is just stalling. It's a way to avoid making a decision at all. Like Pilate, who turned to the crowd to decide Jesus' fate, it's a way of dispersing the decision-making weight across many so that it might disappear entirely. Number 3, the indefinite investigator, uttering "I'll look into it," has become a reflexive response. It sounds like proactive, but without a deadline or specific action steps, it's a commitment as tenuous as water. Respond with, "Okay, by when?" And "How about sooner than that?" "I'll look into it" is a Pilate-like attempt of evasion, a way to seem engaged in solving a problem while actually retreating from it entirely. Number 4, the blame redirection. We can't do anything until we get the go-ahead from upper management or from whomever or whatever is another classic evasion tactic. That's BS 99% of the time, and call it as such. It is an abdication of personal agency, suggesting that some higher power must first decree action before anything can be done, reminiscent of Pilate deferring to the authority of Caesar. And number 5, the delegation abyss. And let's not forget, I've asked insert scapegoat team member to handle this. I respond with, sure, but you're responsible for the result. You see, this is Pilate sending Jesus off to Herod in the attempt to rid himself of the burden of decision as well as the result. This epidemic of inaction and avoidance is the antithesis of achievers. True achievers must be vigilant against such tendencies within themselves and within their teams. Abdication, disguised as delegation, is a path to failure. Rare are those who can truly carry the message to Garcia, persistently ensuring that a task isn't just begun, but brought to its full conclusion. In summary, the path of least resistance, be it forwarding emails, delaying decisions for full consensus, making vague commitments, shifting blame, or delegating without follow-up, is an illusionary one at best. It leads to a culture of non-achievement where responsibility is as fleeting as water slipping through fingers. To inspire action and foster a culture of accountability, embrace the following principles. Follow through on communications that you initiate until you reach a resolution. Make decisions with conviction, even if you must proceed without unanimous consent. Commit to actions with deadlines, ensuring I'll look into it means I'll resolve it by this date. Empower yourself and your team to act without constantly seeking higher approval. Track delegated tasks diligently, maintaining oversight until the loop is closed. By eschewing the passive legacy of Pontius Pilate and actively engaging in the management of tasks to their conclusions, you set a new standard for leadership, a standard where responsibility is not only taken, but also fulfilled. This is the mark of true leadership, and it's within this realm that success is not just envisioned, but actualized. Write down your epiphanies in your Darren Daily Journal and share them with us in the comments below.